Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another interesting episode of Inside Ondo on Impact Africa Television, IATV. I am Anu Omori. The Inside Ondo is a program specially dedicated to Ondo State, and of course, it's no longer news that come October 10th, 2020, there will be an election. A gubernatorial election for that matter in Ondo State. Preparation has started. The political parties are prepared. But let's get to hear from the electoral umpire. The Independent National Electoral Commission has been said that there is just a thin line between a war and election in Nigeria. Is that the case in Ondo State? This evening, I have with me, you may call him a big fish, of course, the resident electoral commissioner in Ondo State, Dr. Rufus Akeju, is my guest on the program this evening. Thank you so much, Your Honor, for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we all know you served in Osun State and in Oyo State.
That's correct.
A few years back, you were renominated. But the report we got is that we followed what happened at the plenary of the Red Chamber at that time. Some persons stood against your renomination to the extent that it was stepped down. But eventually, not many people got to know how you were cleared. Did you get any hint as regards why some lawmakers at the Red Chamber kicked against your nomination?
Thank you very much, dear brother. The fact is, there's no fact in the first place for not nominating me in the first instance. Because when the chips are down, when they asked the lone woman in the Congress, after several weeks of grinning of all of us, they were called in for the interview. They have a subcommittee that is handling it. They invited all senators who might have anything to say about individual and all that. Nobody comes. What happened eventually is a mischief. A mischief that infuriated the handlers supposed to be bringing us for interview with the senator. Because he even told them that they should have raised any objection they have with any of the candidates. Well, you know, when you do a good job somewhere and they know you will continue to, because they've tried everything in the book to compromise your integrity, and you refuse because you have everything to protect your integrity, the name of your family. Up till now, I've served as an ambassador of this country in several countries, untarnished. Why will I come to the basic nation building and then be running around? Come on. It's a single lady, and after they asked her, what is the, why did you say that? He was holding a useless piece of paper in the so-called sacred chamber, the chamber of the Senate, that he has a judgment in her hand that forbade Ambassador Akeju to be appointed as Resident Electoral Commissioner in Nigeria. In a different climate, the presiding officer said, can we see it? But choose not to. And when it turned out, when I have to write a rebuttal to what they said, they know that they have no case against them. They have no choice but to confirm it. Now, must you place politics with somebody's integrity because he offered to serve? This is the question we continue to have to ask ourselves. You are not given or put in a position of authority to be harassing your fellow citizen, particularly when you don't even know the person. So precisely that's what happened. Empty nonsense. Because no court of law in this
actually
country
give any order barring you from saving.
No, but
There is this rumor that is going about that Ambassador Akeju is Mr. Fix-It. A group of people, after the conduct of the 2015 election, alleged that at the collation center there in Agodi, on the day the election, the result was to be announced, that they saw Ambassador Akeju on a long phone call. Allegedly, he was talking about, how to play the game to favor some persons or not. How true is this?
well, why don't they arrest them at that time? In Agodi, in Oyo State.
In Oyo State, at ANEC headquarters.
The problem with them is that you can ask anybody, all the chief security of Akeju does not leave the command post during an election. In company of all the security head, we are monitoring and sending help to whoever they send help. They cry for help. Because whether it's civil defense that's in charge of that PU or the military or something, we send people there. Whoever is telling you that story is a mischief of their imagination. It never occurred, never happened.
On October 10th, 2020, there will be an election in Ondo State.
By the grace of God.
We'll call it a new normal because we've never conducted election and missed any pandemic in Nigeria. And so the people are skeptical. How is it going to be? What is it going to look like?
Well, ANEC have taken guess out of that. We can say categorically that ANEC is the first organization in this country that come up with a formula in the form of a booklet conducting election in the epidemic season, like COVID-15. And we make everybody to bite into it. All the stakeholders, including the national health, some that is supervising the spreading or otherwise of COVID-19 and so on. To the extent that we took our job so seriously that we know we cannot postpone this election because we have a pandemic that is worldwide. It's like saying, oh, you will not go to work because it's raining. There's a constitutional framework that we must follow that dictates our activities along the election.
About the forthcoming election, you get to hear, some things, allegations and counter-allegations,
Do they mention ANEC?
INEC was not mentioned in any of
They
these.
can't.
But the fear is that INEC is the regulatory body. And INEC, has the power, to perhaps sanction. So one is wondering, how come INEC has been silent about it? A particular political gladiator, described himself or portrayed himself in a scary manner to the electorate few days ago here in Ondo State.
Brother, let me explain something to you. Our role is well defined constitutionally. People are confusing ANEC with police. We are not the arresting, like if two people start boxing on election day, and all that. We can't arrest them. Police will arrest them. The judge will mete out the agreed punishment to those individuals that violated their oath of office, because all of them signed oath.
So let's talk about the number of those that have collected their permanent voter cards in Ondo State. Can you give us a breakdown? Are the people of Ondo far and
It doesn't change from the one we used for 2019. Okay. First, the total registered voters in the state, so 1,822,346. Should I repeat that?
Please, you can.
1,822,346. 346 the number of registered voters in Ondo State as at present. Those who have collected their permanent voters card is 1,478,460. I repeat that. Total collected PVC, 1,478,460. Now we have a total of uncollected permanent voters card to the tune of 372,888. Uncollected PVC stood at 372,888. Now, that is the breakdown.
The breakdown of those that are collected. So, what's your impression about this data? Do you think the people of Ondo, eligible voters, do you think they've done the needful? The number of those that have collected their PVCs, are you satisfied?
There are a lot of numbers, reasons we could ascribe to uncollected PVC. Maybe, we advise that they should register closer to where they live. And we have federal workers in Ondo State who were transferred here before, and they thought they are going to be here for the election. It was not to be. They moved. They could have transferred or request to transfer their PVC to them wherever they go. Either they don't have the time, or they just decided to go and register again somewhere else. That's possible. All the NYC that were here at the time of registration probably to register here and then disappear to their respective home state after graduation. Of course, they will not leave their home state to come to Ondo to come and vote. They too either decide not to vote or try to register again somewhere. Again, you cannot avoid fraudulent expectation, because at that time, politicians don't know what we are up to. Some are even bossing people from across states to come and register. It is not impossible. When they now, it dawned on them that if they dare come to collect this, and they dare come, they cannot come to, because there will be lockdown state, no movement of vehicle or something. You can't, for example, say you are coming from, since we are voting the same day, from Ekiti or from Oshun, to come and vote here because you have a PVC here. It's not possible, so they decided to stay away. But nevertheless, because this thing costs money, we are keeping it. There is no gimmick of advertisement, of prouding that we haven't done to get those who own this uncollected card to come out. We have gone from local government to local government. We have asked people whether they know the name of these people to tell them the cards are ready. All kind of stuff like that we've been saying. We have publicized the name and number of their card in their local government area, no show. So they are with us.
In Ekiti State in 2018, the opposition party or the ruling party in that state at that point in time complained of militarization of election in that state, such that the federal government would deploy the military, to come and monitor the conduct of the election. They believe it wasn't to their advantage at that time. So what's your own take, as the electoral umpire in Ondo State, for instance, because the opposition in Ondo State, for instance, are keenly waiting whether soldiers will be deployed for the Ondo election or not. So to you, is it a bad idea, deploying soldiers than, for elections? Or what's your take on this?
Well, you asked for my take, personally.
Yes.
The my experience, Nigerians generally are yet to imbibe the principle, even objective, of democracy. Okay? And we are a perpetual complainant.
Perpetual complainant.
Complainant. And we don't believe in fight. If you lose, go home so you can fight another day. They will still foment trouble. They will still go to court, even when they know they are wrong, that they lost. They will go through this whole system of litigation. If possible, they will say they should stop the other people from ruling until they finish, but that is not possible. We can't live in a vacuum. Until we respect each other. We have, this time around, conduct expected of electorate. What you must do and must not do as an electorate. When you violate that, you'll be arrested.
That's a promise this time around.
It's out. They have a laptop for electoral, for voters, code of conduct for, that's what I mean. All these pamphlets will soon be flying in when they are bringing non-sensitive materials. Because you cannot open your eyes and grab the ballot box and start throwing away, except you are mad. Let me tell you, we are crawling softly. We hope by the next election, we will get, the ANEC is ready to go electronics. We just need the constitutional backing now. And we expect it will come by the time the legislature finish doing the cleanup they are doing with the suggestions that are given to them. If the Democratic Republic of the Congo can do it, their ballot box used to be a newspaper. Their ballot paper used to be a newspaper.
That large?
Oh, yes. Now, just a card. And they put it in a machine, a receptacle. You punch what you want. It goes, it will be recorded at the central level, and it will be recorded where they are doing the thing. So we have two places to verify the result of it. And they do it.
That's in Congo.
Ultimately, it is the best thing for us. And don't let anybody deceive you that Nigeria is not ready for it. Our so-called illiterate that you think don't go to school, they have better native intelligence than those who even went to school.
The governorship election in Akeju State in 2018 added another lexicon to our electoral parlance: vote buying.
Stomach.
Vote buying. Okay, we had a government that pursued stomach infrastructure.
It is where a lot of stomach infrastructure is from there.
So after stomach infrastructure, that was, the policy pursued by the government at that time. But that election itself added the word vote buying to our, electoral parlance. In Ondo State, what is ANEC doing to forestall a repeat of what happened there?
If you sell your vote, you'll be arrested.
Oh, that is strange.
There's a law against it. It's electoral fraud. You will break the law.
If you sell your vote, you're going to be arrested.
You will be arrested.
Maybe some Nigerians will be hearing this for the first time.
ANEC accessible is out there. You sell your vote or you buy a vote, both of you are culpable, you'll be arrested. When we are growing up, and I grew up in the compound of political development, if you ask anybody in Lagos where they call Onola, there is no political figures that never come to campaign there. When it's time for election, people will just come. They have party workers coming to people rushing to vote. Hey, have you eaten this morning? And I say, no, I want to take these 5 shillings and vote for so and so. That's all. You don't even have to get a bag of rice that they do. But we are coming out of all of this one gradually. When people are realizing the importance of their votes, and they know that their vote will count. You bring 1 million for their vote, they won't say.
With this picture you painted, it's as if the concept of vote buying is actually not new.
It's not new.
It's been there.
Oh, it's been there for a long time. It's just refined because they now use a telephone to take the picture to prove that, in fact, you voted for the candidate for which then you go and collect money from them.
Let's talk about...
And you are not taking your phone to go and cast your vote. Give it to your trusted friend.
How prepared is ANEC in Ondo State for the October 10 election? In some cases, you get to hear that election has started in some local government, whereas they are still expecting in other local government area, whereas voting ought to be a simultaneous exercise. So what's ANEC in Ondo State doing?
No, if you have been listening to our explanation, it is not the fault of ANEC. In fact, we have gone so far as to go into agreement with operators of vehicles.
And you are
we don't want to be going to the motor park and pick anybody, any riffraff person that may not honor your contract. You pay them, bring a vehicle that is ready, full tank of the things. This time, you are coming to the office to carry this material and these people to the area house where they will move. It will take them only 5 minutes to get to where they will set up the voting things. One happened, I will say, I've been saying that like a broken record. I will tell you, I think it's in Edo. And my first coming, we went to supervise the election there. It's a Shomole that is running for governor. And I was sent to one jungle there. We already get ready, waiting for the car they hire. The vehicle simply did not show up. And by around the closing time of coming, after we waited for about 2 hours behind time, we have to use the vehicle of people, personal car in order to carry the people. We are late, and it's happening like that. Why? What is the reason? In that particular area, they know that their party, they know the person that owns the vehicle will not win. It's the other party that will win there. So, of course, if they don't go there to vote, if the material are not moved there, who will vote to give him the... So, the vehicle, they thought, is the only thing that will take us there. They have paid them full in advance. They did not show up. We have to twist their neck to get money paid back. They threaten with knife and all that. But in order to avoid that kind of problem, of course, people will say, ANEC arrived late. We don't see them. Shay, are we going to look for driver from heaven with vehicle? So the Union of Road Transporting get themselves together and say, okay, we are here, we will enforce the law for you. They have headquarters in Abuja now. They signed MOU with us. They get 15% upfront of what we now have guidelines on how to engage them. To the extent that they know they cannot fail. They provide the ID card, all these things known by their people. If we say come at 8 o'clock, you must be there. If you are not there, they'll be disciplined by them and you can throw them to the police. So that is some of the things we have done to arrest such things. And you will see when we say we are opening for this election, we shall be opening 8:30, we close at 2:30 by the grace of God. When you say close at 2:30, that is if all the accredited people that have been accredited by 2:30, if you take them till 3 or 4 o'clock to finish voting, we'll be there till that time.
I wanted to look into the camera and talk to the people of Ondo State and observers about your expectation from the electorate, what their conduct should be on the election day.
The people of Sunshine State, Ondo, this is your resident electoral commissioner. I implore you that ANEC, on its own part, is working assiduously to prepare a level playing ground for all the political parties that are vying for governorship election in your state. We want it to be rancor-free election. We want it to be free in terms of health also, that you take care of your health by following the prescribed precaution recommended by the National Center for Disease Control, NCDC, and of course what ANEC also recommended for you. We have said that before you must come only with your voter's card, but now it is important that you come also with your mask, as I'm hearing, because without it, you may not be safe, and we too may not be safe. We need to preserve each other, protect ourselves, so we can have a rancor-free election. We appeal to you to shun violence. Don't allow yourself or your ward, your children, to be used to foment trouble anywhere. It is only election. Vote, don't fight. I thank you.
Thank you so much. As we wrap up, finally, some political parties are spreading the rumor that INEC is perhaps working for a certain political party in Ondo State. An allegation.
Did they say which political party?
Perhaps we shouldn't mention which political party, but it's an allegation being leveled against INEC.
They will have to. You don't allegate. You see, they are confusionists. Some of our political parties know that they cannot win. They know. Some are hanger-on. If you have been studying political behavior in Nigeria, there are parties that exist to be swallowed by other parties and maybe be given a seat or share something when they are distributing the luggage of winners. We are not worried. It's a distractive speculation, If they have evidence of working for anybody, let them produce it.
The ballot paper that will be used for this election, will it be as long as that of 2019, the one used?
Of course, it will not
2019. Be. It will not be.
I don't think so. We are only preparing for 18, and we have only 17 that is contending.
I must say a big thank you to you, Ambassador Dr. Rufus Akeju, the Ondo State Resident Electoral Commissioner. Thank you so much for your time, for your patience.
Thank you also.
Thank you so much. This is where we're going to call it a wrap on the program today. Join me same time, same station next week for another interesting episode of the program. I am Hanuluapo Omoride. See you then.